Good morning, everybody. I'm just about to head out on my long run today. It's supposed to be just 16k easy, but we're just going to see how we go. The weather's a bit funny actually. I woke up this morning, the weather's supposed to be absolutely fine. Bit of cloud, bit of sun, sunny intervals. And as I was just driving home, just massive torrential downpour. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try out some new things today. I've actually got myself a new pair of shoes, which I'll talk more about in other videos, but this is it. This is a Brooks. It's actually the Cascadia 12, and it's a Gore-Tex version, which is what I was looking for. I was kind of in a few different minds about what I wanted to do with my next shoe, and as you know, I did a video on the Brooks Cascadia, so I was looking at the Cascadia 2 or Cascadia 3, which I suppose would have been the safer bet. But then I was also aware that Cascadia was a really highly rated option, and I know they've got the 13 version, and they've also got, I think, the 14's out now. But I picked up those brand new off eBay for £30, you know, like a bargain, so couldn't turn them down. I'm going to try them, I'm going to see how I get on with them today. I do know that just by walking around the house, it's just getting used to a new shoe, isn't it? They're always straight out of the box really comfortable, I don't have an issue with that. It's just, for me, the tongue element on the left side, for whatever reason, just hasn't settled immediately. And this is just me wandering around the house, so I think with a proper pair of actual socks, slightly thicker perhaps would do the trick. So I'm going to give it a go today. And I've also got, oh, the sun's just come out, I've looked out the window. I've also got the, what's this, A&EG, whatever you want to call it. This is a new running vest, and it has the capacity to hold 2 water bottles, whereas my previous one, which I wore, was it last week, on my long run, only had capacity to hold 1. So it just gives me another option. I don't actually need to wear that today. I don't need to be taking 2 bottles with me, but I just thought, test out this new equipment just to get a feel of what my options might be. All right, let's go. Okay, we're off and running, so easy pace. 6:09 to 6:44 per kilometre, and I'm just going to go through this slightly paved village area. As soon as it gets to the river, I'm going to take a left. So I'm going to be going on a route that you've not seen before on here, and it's been probably 2 months since I've done this route. It's part of my long run, so that's the plan. Quite like this tunnel actually. One of those ones you can go woo, making yourself a nice little echo, as if you're a child, which I am. Okay, we are now approaching the bridge to take us down to the river. Just check my timing, a little fast, so I'll just slow down a sec. But here we go, entering the river right now, up onto the grass. Okay, here we go. Stunning, absolutely stunning. I know you're all probably sick of the time lapses, but I quite enjoy them, so I'm going to throw a couple in just as I'm making my way through the kilometres this morning. The sun's come out, as it was due to. Right, let's keep going. Check this out. How fortunate. So, you probably can't tell, I haven't shown you in too much detail, but running this one, the river, it is much muddier, much rockier. These shoes here that I've got on, obviously Gore-Tex, I want that for the waterproof nature. They've also got a built-in rock plate, which is some of the reason why I decided to choose them over the Cascadia, which doesn't. And on terrain like this, I feel like it's essential. Having run this way before on my original Cascadias, I know that I really was feeling the bumps and the, oh sorry, navigating some mud, get the bumps and the stones underfoot. Check this out. 2 families in one day. All right. Whoops. Got a bit closer, I think. Didn't go down so well. I'm a friend. I'm a friend.
Oh yeah, no.
So behind me, they're not man-made trails, they are just literally trails as is. I've never ventured in there. It certainly looks quite overgrown. If you can hear gunshots in the background, that's because I'm backing onto the military ranges, which I spoke about a number of times in my old vlogs. Anyway, it's amazing. What I love about running out on the riverside like this is those kilometers just tick by. You don't even know you're doing it. So, like I said, in the lead up to my riverside run next week and my marathon in August, this is why I sign up for these events, for the visual. And I know the road marathons, Brighton, London, Boston, Chicago, all of those things are a spectacle in themselves. But for me, just being out in nature and getting to look around, everything is why I love running. Halfway now, 8-kilometre mark. Now it would be unfair to judge, but here are my first thoughts on the Cascadia 12s. Not the most comfortable pair of Brooks I've ever worn straight out the box. Normally, I'm true to size, buy a pair of shoes and just wear them and I'm good to go. These ones, I mentioned before, the slight issue with the left foot. I've got some thicker socks on, my heavy twin skins, and that's serving me well on the left hand side. My right foot though just feels a little bit constricted, which is very odd. I've never actually had that before. Just feel like these shoes are a tad too tight, which is, like I say, peculiar because I'm always true to size in Brooks. I would never buy a bigger size, I never had to. So that's where we're at the moment. But also, you know, I've got to give these shoes time. My Caldera is the first pair of shoes I wore, and I put 400 miles on them, and they became the most comfortable pair of Brooks I've ever owned. But obviously 8K, it's a bit unfair to make a judgment long term, but my initial thoughts are what I've just shared with you. Anyway, time to head back. What I would add though is that they do perform exceptionally well on this terrain. Anything from pavement to rocks to mud, in and out of puddles. I have no complaints whatsoever there. They really do perform well and I feel really comfortable in them in terms of running across the different terrains. I'm not feeling the sensation of rocks underfoot, which I have felt before. So from that point of view, positive. Faith in humanity restored. I just stopped to loosen my laces a little bit because my feet did feel too tight. There's no point running through it. I didn't relace them when I got them out of the box or anything like that. And anyway, I'm stopping to do this, just sat on the side of the riverbank. The cyclist comes past. Hey, you okay? Anything I can do to help? Just decent human beings out there still, which is so reassuring, isn't it? Hopefully you can see in my face. I feel a whole lot better now I've had the sense to loosen the laces. I feel a bit of a dummy actually. I mean, there is still no denying that these shoes felt tighter in general than my other Brooks, which were all exactly the same size. But nevertheless, I guess with the material and the design, every shoe is slightly different, isn't it, in its makeup, and I should have realised that earlier on. under a bridge. Woo! Not as much echo. Since loosening the lace, I felt a whole lot more comfortable these last 5 or 6 kilometres. Unfortunately, I knocked my watch and saved the session early, so it's not going to document the full 16, but hey ho, who cares? I'm out here to do the distance, and it is what it is. Oh, train. Just what you want. The peace and the quiet, the tranquil train. Oh, here's some terrain. Nearly there now. The family's back again, but this time they're on the path. I try and creep past slowly. I'll have to walk, I think. Baby's crossing. Here we go. So that's it. There's a run done. Hopefully you don't mind me just, you know, sharing honestly the ups and downs of runs like that, especially with new clothing, new footwear. Obviously you've got to start somewhere with it, and yeah, you could argue that maybe you should always start with a light couple of K run, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm very used to putting on Brooks shoes, and I'm used to how they feel straight out the box. So, you know, perhaps a slight oversight by me, but I actually really thoroughly enjoyed that run. Like I say, once I'd just loosened off the laces slightly, I was ready to go. And you know, it may well be actually wearing thicker socks was the wrong call to make. Anyway, I'm going to catch up with you now a couple of days time. Not going to be running tomorrow. Not sure what I'm doing yet Monday, but either way, I will see you soon. Thanks again.